Welcome to the LaunchPreneur experience. This is Fernanda Farman, your host, and today I'm here with Scott Aaron, and I'm very excited about this interview because, and not just me, I got a lot of comments on people asking me if we were going to interview an LinkedIn expert. So Aaron, it's that person, and he also launches, so he knows not only LinkedIn, how to use and leverage LinkedIn, but also how to launch, which is, fantastic. So welcome, Aaron. Scott. Yes, I keep calling you Aaron.
I have two first names. It happens all the time. It's not the first time and it won't be the last. So not a big deal, but thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah. So today he's going to talk about how to build your business using LinkedIn. And we're going to dive into the difference in between launching and using Facebook and LinkedIn. And can you tell the audience a little bit about your background, what you do, and how you have been supporting your clients, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I'm 42. I got into entrepreneurship when I was 18. So I jokingly tell people that I've been psychologically unemployable since day one. So I've never had a boss. I've never worked for anyone. I've only worked for myself. I had multiple brick and mortar businesses, owned and sold them, 7-figure businesses, now 7-figure online businesses, most recently in the last 8 years, almost 9 years now. And it started with LinkedIn. When I was going from an in-person brick and mortar type business to exploring the ethers of online, it's expansive. It can be very overwhelming. There's a lot to learn. But one thing that I thought about from the very, very beginning was, where is my ideal audience? Meaning, who is that ideal person that would most likely see the value in what I provide the marketplace? And I was doing some research on my own. And obviously I started the way that everybody else does, which is Facebook and Instagram. And then, they hear about LinkedIn and they think it's where people go to get a job or, get recruited or just post a resume, which again, at one point, yes, in 2001, 2002, it was that, but it's a global networking platform. That's what it's about. And I read this article that was breaking down the characteristic traits and the avatar traits of people on Facebook and Instagram compared to LinkedIn. And it was very, very eye-opening. And it was probably the catalyst for why I said, you know what, I'm going to make this my primary platform. I'm not going to give up on Facebook and Instagram, but they're going to be my secondary platform. So there's three things that for any business owner, whether you're in launch or not, there's three things that you need to look at. Number one is your ideal age of the person that you're looking to bring into your program. So whatever your offering is, how old are they? On Facebook and Instagram, the average age is 18 to 29. And on LinkedIn, it's 30 to 55. So you have a much more mature network on LinkedIn. But also you have to look at the network that you can grow. There's a saying that goes, your net worth is in direct correlation to your net worth. So if you're not happy financially with where your business is, take a look at the size of the network that you have. Yes, you're allowed unlimited followers on Instagram, but Instagram also has the highest rate of fake accounts to real accounts percentage-wise of any social media platform. Yeah. So I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. And as far as Facebook goes, you're only allowed 5,000 friends. And I'll put that in air quotes because any human being knows that no one has 5,000 friends. We have acquaintances. We have people that we've met. But LinkedIn is different. LinkedIn, you're allowed 30,000 connections. So this is your opportunity to curate and create this thriving network of what I call the two most important types of connections. Your ideal client, meaning the person that is going to see value in your product, your good, or your service, or that power partner, that person that can introduce you to your ideal client. So I follow, and my wife and I follow this, is the teachings of the science of getting rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And it states, Instead of living in a world of competition and comparison, live in a world of creation and collaboration. So that's why I'm on LinkedIn, to create, to collaborate, and to make sure the foundational things are there for me to get into new networks, have new conversations, and convert those people into customers and clients. And the third thing is money mindset. You can have the best program in the world. The number one objection you're going to hear is, I would love to, but I don't have the money. Or I would love to, but can't afford it right now. Or maybe in a couple months, reach back out to me in 60 days, when the answer is still going to be the same. Mm-hmm. Now, you hear this a lot on Facebook and Instagram because the average income that someone makes on that platform is $30,000 a year or less. But if you look at the average income of someone on LinkedIn, it's $100,000 a year or more. I had a client who I was helping with a launch about 3-4 weeks ago, and it was a paid launch. So she was running a workshop. It was in person, and you had to pay to go. And she had 45 seats. She said within a week, 23 of the 45 paid seats were filled with the strategy that I taught her on LinkedIn. Wow. Almost half. So you have to understand, and this was an in-person event, so she had to be even more hyper-targeted, building her network in the area of where she lives, where this event was. That's the power of LinkedIn. You can get as clear and as specific as you want. And, I teach what I do. This is the big differentiation between me and other, and I put in air quotes again, LinkedIn experts. People coined me the expert. I didn't call myself one. When I started getting incredible traction for our business, which is now cumulatively over the last 3 years, multiple 7 figures, the results speak for themselves. And then when other clients of mine started to achieve 7 and multiple 7-figure results over a year, 18 months, it was laid out. The strategy that I was using for our company and our business was duplicatable and was working for others. And that is what I teach people how to do. And the other benefit to the strategy that I have, it can be used during a launch, before a launch, after a launch, and it only takes 20 minutes a day of your time to actually get results.
Okay, so you mentioned something that it's very interesting. It's the power of connection that we have inside of LinkedIn. I was not aware of the data that you just shared, which is huge. And what we're seeing right now happening, it's that a lot of the people that have been launching, they have been launching inside of the container of Facebook groups, right? They have been using Facebook ads, and the engagement has dropped, like a lot. Yep. And I've seen people just like, how can I launch on LinkedIn? How can I launch on Instagram? And they are just trying to find new things to do, but they are repeating the strategies that they are using inside of Facebook, which is you're not going to get the same results because the strategies every platform works in a different way. What are the biggest mistakes that you see people doing when trying to launch inside of LinkedIn? And I know one of the things for me, that really, got my attention. It's somebody that was trying to connect with me. I didn't know the power of LinkedIn back then. And she said, I looked your profile, but I don't understand what you do. And she said, are you a consultant? Are you working for a company? I don't understand, because I didn't know how to write my profile. And somebody gave me like this little tweak to do it. And it was crazy because I started getting like people trying to friend me and connect with me. And I got one specific client that wanted to collaborate with me by changing one thing that this person told me to do. So what I am trying to, to convey is that a strategy, it's important and doesn't work just because you had successful launches inside of Facebook. It's not going to work inside of LinkedIn. Can you share a little bit of the mistakes you have seen people doing?
Well, I would say if anybody is familiar with Family Feud, the number one answer, the number one mistake that people make is they try to run LinkedIn ads. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, That's B2C. LinkedIn is B2B. It's if you can read all of the articles you want. The starting budget is about $3,000 a month, reoccurring, and you need to have that going for about a year. So if you're prepared to drop $36,000 to get started, by all means, go and do it. But you're not going to get the results that you want because it's more for B2B. It's 7, 8, and 9-figure companies and recruiters going after 7, 8, and 9-figure accounts, other companies. So that's the first big mistake. You don't have to. I don't spend any money on LinkedIn. I don't pay for premium. I don't pay for recruiter, navigator, ads, nothing. Everything that I do and everything that I teach is on the free basic version of LinkedIn. That's all you need. The second mistake that people make is they're treating LinkedIn like Facebook and Instagram. It's not a one size fits all. The way that you treat Facebook is different than LinkedIn. The way that you treat Instagram is different than you treat LinkedIn. But what I see people doing, and this is just my honest assessment, is people are getting lazy and they're saying, you know what, whatever I'm posting on Facebook and Instagram, I'm just going to throw it up on LinkedIn and hope it gets the results that I want. It's not how it works. There is no selling and pitching at all on LinkedIn. This is the misconception. LinkedIn is for connecting, collaborating, and networking. That's what it's about. So I see people filling their news feeds and posting everything, about their program, about this, and join that and sign up here. And you know what? It's going to be crickets. No one's going to engage with your content. People are on LinkedIn to be educated and informed. You have to earn the right to offer what you have to someone. No one buys anything from anyone that they don't know, they don't like, and they don't trust. The third big mistake is you're posting the wrong content. The number one source of content that can be created on any social media platform, I don't care if it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, it's video. The best way to build the know, like, and trust, to build that rapport, the connection with another individual that does not know you, is like this. On video, where they can see you and they can feel you. And they watch because they want to be educated and informed. They want to see you as a tool and a resource of how to improve something in their life and their business. And you give free value. There's no proposition at the end of it. You're not making an offer at the end. You're giving value. The more that you give, the more you will get. So it's a combination of not running ads, not treating it like Facebook and Instagram, and making sure that you are showing up visibly on video and posting the right content.
So everything that I am hearing from you, it's not just show up and put an ad and it's expect that you're going to do a launch in a month and you're going to have your launch filled with people with organic reach. It's building that relationship, those connections over time, and really having the, putting up the energy, the time, the value in order to earn. So when they launch, people will come naturally instead of trying to do what we do on Facebook, promote yourself today, which becomes this promotion. It's basically, as you're saying, earning their trust. So they want to come and come to your world and that's why they have following instead of friending. Because I heard that a lot of people will not allow people to friend them, only to follow them
on LinkedIn,
unless they trust them enough to come and become a friend.
Let me dive into this a little bit. So let me lift up the veil, so to speak. So I'm going to go pretty high level here, and I apologize in advance if anyone gets kind of lost, but I want to break this down for you. So the reason why I always encourage people to do part of what I teach my clients in our company, in our firm, is teaching people to show up on camera at least 1 to 2 times a week on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
You know, you're not on there for 30 minutes. You're on there for 2 to 4 minutes. You educate, you inform, you give a couple tangible tips and takeaways, say goodbye, and you move on. That's it. If you do that consistently a couple times a week for 4 to 6 weeks, you can then apply for something called LinkedIn Live Producer. So LinkedIn does have a live capability, unlike Facebook and Instagram, where everyone has access to it. You have to fill out an application to get approved to be a LinkedIn Live Producer. And I had to apply about 6 times before I finally got approved, and it's changed the game. Because not only is video best to interact with people, but live video is even better. Because now you have a live engaged audience that you can curtail your questions to. You can get instant feedback from them. So here's the other benefit to that. When you get approved for LinkedIn Live, you can use something called StreamYard, which is my favorite streaming source to go into LinkedIn. So you connect your StreamYard into LinkedIn, and you can stream from the platform. You can see the comments. It's beautiful. It's easy. It's free. So if you don't want to use anything else, you just want to use StreamYard to LinkedIn, it's $0 to do it. That's how great it is. Now, here's the other thing. So now you're streaming live to LinkedIn. To your point, a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to, start a LinkedIn group, and I'm going to treat it just like a Facebook group. Like you said, completely different. But on LinkedIn, you can create an event. Mm-hmm. And when you create an event, you basically, it is the hub for your launch, your workshop, your intensive, whatever you're doing. And it allows you to customize it, whatever graphics you want to put up. You can even include the registration link to your landing page of how people can register for your event. So now you've created your event and you're the host. So LinkedIn will ask you, do you want this to be hosted by your personal page or your company page? I'm not even going to get into company page. That's another 30-minute talk. We'll save that for another time. So you would do this through your personal page. So you then start inviting targeted people. So why I said to you when we were in the green room that when you're launching on LinkedIn, it's the long game. So why it's so important, and I touched on this a little bit earlier, was building the right kind of network of ideal clients and power partners. So when you create this event, now you have those ideal connections already in your network. You know what value you can bring to them. And when you offer something of free value, who's not going to take you up on that? So now you start personally selecting and inviting people to your event, right? And they start accepting your invitation to attend your event. Now, when that happens, you as the event creator get notified that so-and-so just accepted your invitation to your event. Send them a message. So I would then send that person a message, excited that you're coming to the event. In case you didn't see it, here's the registration link. So you get all the deliverables you need for the 5-day event coming up. Hope to see you there. So it's an extra step to make sure they do register. So now you have this process going. Same thing, 4 to 6 weeks. You want to kind of build this thing out. You want to invite new people every single day. But here's the cool thing. If you have LinkedIn Live capability, LinkedIn now allows you to stream into an event that you've created.
Oh, wow.
So just imagine as you are prepping for this launch and you are inviting your ideal clients on LinkedIn once a week, leading up to that launch, you can stream right into that event of the people that have registered to warm them up. Now, the other added benefit is this. It's public. It's not private. So every event you had the option of making it a public or private event. I always made mine public because I wanted other people to find it if it fit into something that they wanted to learn. So when you stream, it's streaming to a public event. So people can watch it back on the replay. But as new people are invited in and end up accepting that invitation, they can watch back any of the old information in that group, since it is an open public forum. So now you have this well-oiled machine of building ideal connections every single day, creating this event 4 to 6 weeks out, inviting your direct target market to it with the registration link right there, warming them up by going live in there at least once a week. And it's just creating this system of making the time for it and not getting attached to the outcome, because there's something else I want to talk about. But that system alone, just what I gave you guys right there, going live on LinkedIn first, just to kind of warm everybody up, starting those events, having the registration link in there, you can have a feeder system of creating leads right on there for your events using LinkedIn. Now, I want to dive into this really quickly. So there's been a trend right now with launches, and it's called show up rate disappearance. So for those that don't know what that means, basically you end up getting 1,000 people to register and 100 people show up. And you're like, where the hell did the 900 other people go?
Right.
Now, here's the thing. And this is something, and I'm just planting a seed for you guys, just to kind of I want you to just take this in, digest it. You don't have to do anything with it. What my wife and I are actually going to be experimenting with in 2022 is doing paid only workshops. Not charging an arm and a leg, $29, $39, because here's our thought. If we can get 700 people to register for an event and only 150 show up, if those 150 people paid $49 each, that's an $8,500 workshop without even offering anything else but that time that you're giving them during those 3 to 5 days. This is becoming rampant because everyone is kind of following the same methodology, right? Let me give value for 3, 5, 7, 9 days, right? I'm going to invite the world, but we all know the show up rate drops every single night.
Yes.
But what I'll tell you is this. If you could get a tribe of 200 people to invest $39 to $49 for your workshop, you've already made money. And the fact is, you better believe your show up rate is going to be nearly 100%, because if I was investing as little as $49 for a 4 to 5 day event, you better believe I am going to squeeze as much juice as I can out of it. If there's no investment made,
no commitment,
it's no harm, no foul. I didn't pay any money for it. So what does it matter if I show up or not? The other thing, it pre-qualifies the people that you've invited and come into this event. Because if someone is going to be willing to spend 5 days with you and give you $49, and you're giving them all this knowledge, that when you do open cart, when you do open that event, that person has already said to you unconsciously, I see the value of investing in myself, in other people. So you have a greater opportunity of that contingency that's paid, that registration fee for that workshop, to join your higher ticket item that you're leading them into. So this is something that we're going to be actually working through this year coming up.
Yeah. And you touched on two things that are very important. One of them is, yes, the show up rates are really poor. I was running a launch where we had 1,200 registrants, and then in the end, 250 people made to the group. I mean, what happened to the other 1,000 people? So they just registered because they wanted the free resource, the free workbook, the free whatever they're going to get. And if I have time, I will show up.
Maybe.
So exactly. So then you get your team to do all the resources to send the messages. And you don't even know if these people are pre-qualified, right? They're They just registered. So now you're putting all the resources in your time to get those people to come to the Facebook group. Now they are in the group. You get them. Now you need to get them to show up every day, which is 5 days. It's every day. You need to make sure, are you coming tomorrow? Just a reminder, we're going to be talking about this tomorrow. So now you're doing all that work. When you do, and one of the things that we tested is that doing a $7 workbook, a $7, like it's not even like that much. That changed the show up rate.
I love that. Yeah. So you have to pay to play. If you can come to the workshop, there's a compatible workbook that goes along with this. For $7, you can get this workbook. It's going to go in depth with everything, so you retain that information. That's brilliant. I love that idea.
Now, if they didn't want to buy that $7, we knew they were not.
They disqualified themselves.
They disqualify. If they cannot invest $7, they cannot invest, right?
In anything.
And then, and we gave them, one of the strategies that I use is like inside of the workbook, that was a special gift that was worth more than the workbook. So they could only get with the workbook. They would have to have the code inside of the workbook to get that work, to unlock that, that gift. And as people were talking about it in the group, where's the workbook? And they wanted to buy the workbook. But at that point, we made it very clear, you can only buy that workbook for $7 until the day. After the date, it's $14. So now you get people trying to negotiate the workbook. And I'm like, doesn't qualify. So now they're disqualifying, right? Like you don't respect the rules. You don't respect that this was offered to you and you said no. So now you want to get for $7 because you're seeing what other people are getting results with.
Yep.
So you're always going to be behind. And so now you're disqualifying. And I love that, that mentality, because going into 2022, we cannot do events the way we were doing before.
No.
You just can't. And if you don't think about collaboration, like you're saying.
It worked. I mean, like not to rain on people's parades, what we're trying to convey to you here is that for a good while, it worked. Like it was a well-oiled machine, but people start to catch on.
Yeah.
The people that are seeing all these events, they get burnout with all these 5 and 7 day events that are free that end up with this big call to action at the end. So for us, and I'm sure you feel the same way, is that when people see that not just the value in what you're going to be providing on those days, but when you have skin in the game, right? When you think about if you're hiring a personal trainer, right? Someone can go online and you can look up a workout and then you'd have to hold yourself accountable to getting to the gym to work out. But why do people hire trainers? Because they know if they're paying someone, you better believe they're going to show up to get that workout in. So you have to have some skin in the game. And for the people that are listening to this, that maybe you have that chatter inside your head right now where you're a little afraid, like, oh my God, I don't know if I could charge. I don't know if people will pay. Well, they will. And by you saying, I don't know if they will, that's a story. They either will or they won't. And you know what? Both of those answers are exactly what you're looking for, because you want those that are going to pay to show up, and you want the ones that aren't going to pay to go away to find some other free event that they can latch onto and not do anything at the end anyway. Because we've had so many, and we love our people. We've had so many people that we did 9 launches in 12 months, right? We did 8 straight launches, took off a month, did another one, and then we took off the rest of 2021. And I'll tell you that we had success in every single launch, but the same people were showing up each time. And the same people squeezed that juice and did nothing at the end. And part of one of the reasons why we started pushing even harder with LinkedIn is because we started to look at the demographics of who was showing up, but also the ROI of the people that were registering compared to those that were buying. And I remember the first launch that we did in January of 2021, it was a 6-figure launch. 65% of that revenue was generated from people that we connected with on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, oh my God, that's it. We could still do the do of what everyone is doing on Facebook and Instagram and into their Facebook group. But I want to leverage these pre-qualified business professionals that are making the money required to get their business to the next level and believe in investing in themselves.
And action takers, because once they understand the power, they take action. Right? So the action takers, and I think that's what it makes a difference. And that's what I heard about LinkedIn. People are faster to make decisions because they're usually corporate people. They have been in the business, they're business owners. They don't have time to, let me think about it and get back. Let me wait 2 years and continue to do what I'm doing for 2 years, expecting something different. And then in 2 years, we can talk about it. So yes, I appreciate everything you shared here, Scott. I almost called you Aaron again. I appreciate everything that you shared today. And I'm sure it brought a lot of aha moments to the audience, because it did, for me, in terms of just the data itself behind it's huge. And having your knowledge on launches and LinkedIn, it's just phenomenal. So I appreciate you joining us here. And when you join this experience, you actually got, with the free registration, you got the free guide on LinkedIn profile optimization, because that's very important. That's the first thing you want to do. And also, Scott has a free gift that I will let him explain what the LinkedIn accountability bundle is.
So for those that obviously attended for free, you got my profile optimization tool, which again is the foundation of where you need to start. You got to build out your profile first that attracts the right people, so you can start again connecting with the right individuals, messaging them properly, providing value-added content. So it's this wash, rinse, and repeat. But for those that want to join the VIP experience, I do have an accountability bundle for you. Not only do you get the LinkedIn profile optimization tool, but you do get a LinkedIn checklist, which gives you kind of like the day-to-day activities that you need to do, connections to send, messages to send, the things that need to do in my 20-minute routine that I teach to make sure that you're being held accountable. But also, you do get a 2022 content strategy creator. So content is one of the biggest things that people struggle with most, and most notably on LinkedIn. So what I wanted to do for people is give you a template to go by, so you can start taking those thoughts and ideas in your head, put them down on paper, and start creating content that creates engagement with the right types of people that you're bringing into your network.
Thank you so much for gifting that to the audience. I really appreciate it. And with your action step, make sure that you go to the Facebook group and write down what is your biggest takeaway about the power of LinkedIn, and tag Scott so he can give you feedback and he can support you. If you have any questions, he's going to be in the group. Just tag him so he can support you through this event and answer any questions you have. So again, thank you so much for joining us, Scott. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Fernanda. It was a pleasure to be here, and just grateful to be here with the group.
Bye.